Welcome to Strictly Football, and today we're going to be talking about the Premier Soccer League as usual. We're going to recap, see where our teams are. Somebody's embarrassed, I can tell you.
Yeah, especially when the one you predicted is below one, which has not even kicked the ball.
Are you okay, Valentine?
Yeah, you can show them. You can show them the log standing innocent. There is a certain team that somebody predicted. No. Hey, it's going to be number one.
You know what we say, Esintwini?
Yeah.
We say umlilo wamaphepha.
Oh, boom.
Yes, it just goes boom.
Yeah.
Then it goes.
So in other words, FC Platinum umlilo wamaphepha.
Umlilo wamaphepha.
Yeah,
but let's look at who FC Platinum is. I mean, they played against newcomers, Chegutu Pirates.
And defending champions.
Defending champions in their own backyard. Kudos to them. One win that we can say was worth talking about. And of course, maximum points. Good for them.
By the way, Valentine.
Yes.
What number exactly is the team that you say?
You said was going to win the league.
They've only played one game. And isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got 0 points. All right.
You're giving me too much. You're giving me too much information.
I'm telling you.
What number?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I only start looking at the log after 5-6 games.
Bevan, show us the log.
Yeah.
5-6 games.
It's number 15.
How
many
not
teams?
Even last.
Wait. How many teams are in the league?
18.
There you go. It's
It's
even number 15.
The most interesting is it's the number 14.
What's number 14?
Yes.
Bigita Minerals.
Yes.
Wait. You were beaten on goal difference by a team that has yet to play football.
Because they haven't conceded any goal. Logic should tell you that they haven't conceded any goal.
Yeah.
And which means they have to be above a team that has played 90 minutes.
All right.
So
cool.
Which means in the next game they can lose 6-0.
No, Valentine,
and go where they belong.
No, Valentine, don't worry. Don't take it to heart. You finish where you were hoping.
No, exactly.
It's
early days yet. You mentioned last time that's how Genisi Platinum started off last season. In as much as they've started with
on 15th.
Well, but not 15 as such. Because here you're talking after 2 games. We're looking at after
no, 2 games is a start.
Five games. I always look at the first 5.
All right.
Where you stand. If you in your first 5 you manage to collect about 9 points. You're okay. You're still on the okay side. All right. And then in your next 5, which is your 10 games, if in your 10 games you've collected about 21 points or 19 points, you're in the game.
All right.
That's how football works.
So you guys are going to collect roughly how much?
Let's not be novices around issues of how football starts and points are obtained in a league. Let's talk about the reality. Talk to me after 10 games. This is the last time I'm commenting about this. Talk to me after 10 games.
No, don't block us.
I'm not blocking you.
Don't block us.
I'm not going to entertain you for the first 10 games.
Don't block
around
us.
This issue to say where are we or where is this team on the log.
So you're saying we do not have anything to talk about.
We can talk
regarding
about
that
9 games.
There's so much that we can talk about.
Regarding log standings specifically.
Log standings.
Yeah, we will not talk about anything for the 9 games.
You can malt on it all you want, but you expect this kind of response that I'll always maintain. The first 10 games or the first 5 at least.
Gentlemen. Yadah is going to win the league. According to him, it's just a slow start.
That's my first half prediction, by the way. So put it that on record.
Oh, you're going to second half.
Obviously, we mentioned this on the on.
So much for confidence.
You see,
no. You know what we say.
You see what happens when people take you for a ride. That is exactly what is happening.
They leave you halfway.
We are being taken for a ride by Mr. Anyway, over to you, Mr.
Let's look at the games that we played. Highlanders played pretty well against Dynamos. Won that match. Then what happened? Bulawayo Chiefs just were too difficult to beat.
The challenge, I mentioned this when we were looking at what the teams had done from the beginning of the season, and I think this will hurt Highlanders more importantly this season, in as much as the system has changed with the new coach Kevin Kaindu coming in and bringing a different brand of football compared to what Brito had brought to Highlanders, and they still struggle with goals. They will struggle with that, and they can create them, but they won't be lethal in terms of finishing those goals. They didn't acquire or enroll or bring in a prolific striker that they should have invested in, or prolific strikers for them. Yes, they might say so, but you find that those kind of players are the ones that peak, midway through the season. That could happen for them, maybe. But look at how they've started already. One would argue, okay, Bulawayo Chiefs at home, that should have easily been 3 points to Highlanders. It's a derby, yes, but it's the same derby like Everton versus Liverpool. So you can't really, Liverpool, you expect them to get maximum points. Six. Yeah. You expect them to get the 6 for the season in that game.
Don't look at Bevan right now.
Oh, of course. So I think Highlanders, in as much as we talk about that, I think that's where the problem is. And I'll continue and maintain that they should have really gotten a striker for the first half of the season, and maybe hoped that those that are there as their strike players, strike force, would really gel over time. But they needed to get an experienced, prolific striker, or somebody fresh, a new and a competent striker.
Competence.
Yeah. Maybe just to add on, you remember the interview we had? I think it was Tulani Ngube, that's the coach, right?
Yes.
Bulawayo Chiefs.
Yes.
He actually promised.
He
said, you know what? We are just going to make life difficult for them.
Yeah,
we are not afraid of them. We'll make life difficult for them. I think they are Lufeve best, right?
Yes.
In terms of home ground,
but
they had to switch to BF. So he was asked whether the home thing. He said, no, it's not our home ground. It's their home ground, but we will make it difficult for them. But then again, I just have to say this, Innocent. That's a very decent side. I think there is then a tendency to misconstrue their very good social media activity for them being a commercial club. On the field of play, they're actually a very decent side that plays good football. Yes, they may not be your title challenging side yet, but they are one club that will give you a good brand of football, like your Valentine's Yadah. They will give you that kind of football. It's easy on the eye. So I know season in, season out, they will have casualties in the traditional giants. Some of them, 1 or 2 of them, will have to be a casualty and a victim of.
Dynamos always is of Bulawayo Chiefs, actually.
Yeah, but talking about Highlanders, does this mean that they're not going to be title challengers?
Definitely not.
I mean, it's early days. It's just 2 games in.
Yeah.
So, like I always mentioned, that we can't be talking of the title just 2 games in, and that's why my argument. I know you guys want to pick on me about Yadah, where they are, but the issue is, let's look at after 10 games. The 10 games will give us a bit of a shape before we get into the first 15, the first half of the season.
But with what we've already seen.
Yeah, here's the thing, Innocent. Banter aside, like what Valentine is talking about, you can't really be talking about title or championship on match day number 2. Yes, a side that is likely going to be fighting for it, you can actually probably predict by the way they are playing and what you'd have seen after 2 games, yes. But in terms of the final destination of the title, it's way too early for anyone to be talking about it, let alone ruling out a team like Highlanders.
But you guys have already mentioned the Achilles heel here.
Yeah,
for some, but is there just going to be a magical thing that's going to happen?
It's the same thing, Innocent, that when we mentioned Cape United last season. Look at how they started. House on fire. Everybody thought this could be the season, but look at where they finished at the end of the season. Yes, we have identified. We did that. That's why I didn't give Highlanders the championship. I said this, not that they won't contend. I said I'm not giving them the title because of this Achilles heel. Okay. But contention, they are, because the support, the influence that they have. And I mean, it's Highlanders. It's a big club. And if anything goes wrong, they quickly react and they try and solve the issues as quickly as possible.
Plus, adding on to what Valentine is saying, the magnitude of the club will give them that natural buoyancy. And what will happen is, they will, when you've got a coach what you do, you look at your weaknesses and your strength. You improve on your weaknesses, right, and maximize on your strength. If we do not have a prolific goal scorer like what Valentine is referring to, we can always change the system. Remember last season, Highlanders, they didn't have a prolific goal scorer, but they were very disciplined defensively. So we get one goal, you don't score.
Close up.
And you can win a league title scoring one news and going all the way. So at the end of the day, there is nothing to say that by the time we get to the last game of the season, they wouldn't have brought a prolific goal scorer. I mean, we are going to have transfer windows. They will definitely look at addressing that issue and remedy the Achilles heel. So I think for teams like that, teams as big as Highlanders, you can never really at any point, unless it's a bad season that is unraveling for them, you can never really rule them out in terms of contention for the title.
Yeah, as much as you guys might say that, I can tell you a group of fans that can predict a bad start to the season.
That's, it's strange, really. I understand fans.
I hear they were singing Genisi Mangombe.
But at you know what, we have to give them credit for creativity.
I'm just joking. That's all my own composition.
Wow. So
well
they need to hire you.
Well done.
They need to hire you. They need to hire you. But here's the thing. It's strange for me. For any group of fans, for that matter, at this stage, to be calling for the sacking of the coach. I understand the emotions that come with football, but there are a lot of things that are not right at Dynamos right now. As we're doing this podcast, the social media is awash with issues to do with unrest in the camp, whereby there are allegations of some players signing on fees, others not. There is division apparently. It's in the social media domain. So at the end of the day, what we need to give this coach time. We need him to gel, because he brought in a number of new players that have to adjust and to adapt to the system. The vital cog of the system that gave them that push last season left, and the club did not support the coach in terms of retention of him. The absence of Junior Makunike is really telling in that setup.
Didn't they acquire a player to fit in there specifically for that?
You can acquire a player, Valentine, to remedy that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's kick and go, because this the midfield tree of Dynamos last season, it was just a machine. How it gelled and how they were playing. And again, this is game week number 2. There are gelling issues, Valentine. There are sharpness issues. I don't know.
But definitely, one thing that we have to really admit about Dynamos is that maybe they thrive in chaos. There's no season that Dynamos does not have chaotic scenes or chaotic moments, or moments where there's player revolt or player issues raised in terms of their remuneration or anything else, but something chaotic.
Yeah, but
for Dynamos is always.
And the difference between this Dynamos and the previous Dynamos is that Dynamos would win the league.
I wanted to say that.
That's what we are saying. He's working on it. And even him, I appreciate his comments. I went to the Dynamos, fan page, dynamos.com, Dimbari.com. And I like how he was quoted saying that Dynamos fans are right to demand the best out of from the team. And it's something that he realizes that I'm not going to be here just to sit back and get results and say and claim that I'm rebuilding or I wasn't supported. There is no time for that, and it won't be acceptable according to the Dynamos culture, where they expect their team to be winning all the time and getting the results, and for them challenging the championship. I feel he understands that, and when a coach has that kind of mentality, I hope he's not just saying it to diffuse, the chaotic scenes that were there at Barberfield Stadium soon after the match when Dynamos drew or, blew away a 2-goal 2-0 lead in that game against the Hwange, I think he's on the right path to say, this is how I want to manage Dynamos. Yes, the fans are going to give me pressure, but it's how I'm going to handle it, and I won't allow it, to push me away. This is a challenge I relish.
Yeah, but Valentine, I don't know. The great Sunday Marimo once said in an interview we had, team is not given them a fans.
Of course.
Then because I know tamba. That was what I think. What he meant was the fans, they always have a setup whereby their team always wins. There are before we even get to the Platinum Derby, there's a statement that Tekshua Chiragi said after the match. He said, "No, we played very well. They were just the better side. They won that game." So sometimes you can have the right tactics, but you can still be on the losing end because the other team probably would just have outwitted you. So sometimes the fans, you have to understand, the first game was against Highlanders. Losing that game, surely I understand their legacy issues and stuff that can, raise a few emotions. But at some point, you need to come and say, no, this is possible. You can always lose to such a big team.
Of course.
Then you want also to look at, I understand this was not the colliery, but how many times have you beaten Hwange?
They're a very difficult team to beat.
You get it. So you also need to look at these issues sometimes, because as much as people want to ignore these things, they are the small things that make up football. There are certain teams that that's why you have got teams like your Boggy side. There are certain teams that are
talk of Liverpool winning at Nottingham Forest. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, but the good thing, you know what I'm liking, Innocent? It's not I who's bringing in Liverpool. No, we'll talk about Liverpool. But I'm just saying.
Let's keep it local. Let's keep it local.
It's him. I don't want to be gloating about, the
You're already doing so.
Okay, it's like,
You're already doing so.
It's like Barcelona winning at Atletico Bilbao. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
It's Celta Vigo.
Celta Vigo. There you go.
So I think based on style of play, I think under Genisi Mangombe, Dynamos is playing a very good brand of football. I think there's need patience. He's a young coach who's growing. He will have mistakes here and there. There are certain things that I would not have him do that I've seen him doing.
Which are?
I think on 2 occasions now, I've come across a leaked audio of him having a conversation with fans. I'm not saying don't engage fans.
All right.
But the way you then do that, you have to understand that you need some PR management. This speaks to grooming.
Dynamos as a PR manager.
Yeah, well, if the club doesn't have you can have somebody who does that for you, your management. Because
the club should have, isn't it?
Yes,
the club without an office, so things that will miss.
Never mind.
Here's the thing. Whilst it's also good to engage the media, but I think maybe to engage the fans, but you have to understand sometimes some of these fans, they have certain agendas. You have to know what you're doing. I think that is something that he has to grow out of and be able to manage. Because you see, the thing with the fans is the team should not lose. They cannot lose. You cannot justify whatever tactics that you can do. Everything that you can say. Once it's a defeat, they will not stomach a defeat. So at the end of the day, there are certain you've got to know how to navigate the terrain and how to talk to the fans. Because at the end of the day, if you really continue this, what he does of entertaining fans, over the phone, and he's being recorded every game, and the audio then leaks, it brings to you unnecessary pressure. So sometimes they call, no, it was a tough game, but we work out next game. Learn the responses. Let's have the official platform to talk. If it's a press conference, we do a press conference. That's it.